From an airport worker telling him that he won, to the Matrix breaking down in tears after his loss. This is how Vasiliy Lomachenko opened up after losing to Devin Haney. You know you've won when random people start telling you that you did. And that's what happened with Loma as well. The Ukrainian was doing an interview at an airport when a passing airport worker shouted at him that he won that fight. This wasn't staged, guys.
Lomachenko, you won that fight.
Yeah, thank you.
Won that fight.
We just talked. This is not staged. This is organic. It's real. But that happens everywhere, which you did win.
The man was there just doing his job, and he happened to come across the former champ and told him what he thought about his last fight. This isn't an isolated incident either. Boxing fans across the world agree that the judges crapped the bed with their scoring, and that Loma should have been given the win over Haney. The loss obviously weighed heavy on the Matrix in the beginning, but now he started to see all the support he has gotten from the boxing community. He may not have won the titles, but he has become the people's champion, and that's way more valuable than any other undisputed title. I can't help but think that this worked out in Loma's favor. I mean, he had fans before, but now it seems as if everyone just loves the man and what he stands for. Vasiliy seems to be over what happened against Devin now, and that was pretty apparent from that interview at the airport. When the interviewer told him that even his doubters thought he should have won that night, the Ukrainian just appeared to be humble and said that things like this happen in boxing sometimes. But that doesn't mean people should stop watching it or supporting the fighters. Loma also revealed that the Haney rematch won't ever happen, and that he's not thinking about what he wants to do next. For now, the Matrix just wants to go back home, spend some time with his family, and relax. The interviewer also pointed out that after the fight, even their promoter Bob Arum told Vasily's team that they won easily. This was a huge deal, cause Bob actually promotes both Loma as well as Haney, and a seasoned professional like him wouldn't have said something that controversial if he didn't think it was one-sided. The Ukrainian said that he thought he won too, and if the fans and everyone else share the sentiment, then there must be some truth to it. He then said that Haney does need to make a rematch, cause the Dream's the one talking about legacy all the time. So how can he rest easy knowing that everyone around the world is accusing him of robbing Loma of the win? The Matrix added that the rematch isn't in his hands, and it's a call that Devin needs to make. Loma doesn't need to do anything right now, cause he still sleeps pretty well at night knowing that he did everything to win, and that he deserved to get his hand raised as the champion that night. Having said that, Vasiliy knows that Haney isn't ever gonna agree to run the fight back again, cause he's scared. Devin knew what had happened. His whole team knew that he didn't deserve the win. I mean, after the 9th round, he was telling his corner that Loma figured out what he was gonna do even before he did it. If you saw the fight, you know what the Ukrainian was referring to. And to be honest, Haney's reaction to winning the fight said it all. It was clear that even he couldn't believe that he got to retain his title like that, and he was jumping up and down in excitement when his name was announced. The best thing for him would have been to leave the belts in the center of the ring and promise Loma an immediate rematch, but that didn't happen. That's why Vasiliy predicts Devin isn't gonna fight at 135 again. The Ukrainian believes that the Dream is gonna move up to 140 now, cause the fights aren't gonna get easier for him from here on out. He'll have to face Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson next, and they're both out of his league right now according to Loma. Haney got exposed against the Matrix, and he's simply not on the same level as the top pound-for-pound fighters. That's one of the reasons he's still not ranked on that list by many. Loma also said that Devin isn't gonna fight any top-ranked boxers at 140 either. In fact, he's gonna start with some of the most average fighters in the new division, and will only start to move up in a couple of years. There's a lot of work that Haney needs to do before he can go toe-to-toe with the best. Loma and his team knew exactly how well they did in his fight against the Dream, and the loss was disappointing for them. So they decided to take the matter up to the sanctioning bodies. They sent letters to IBF, WBC, WBO, and WBA, which highlighted the unfair and unjust decisions by the judges. This denied Loma his rightful win, and it also stopped him from becoming the undisputed champion. Vasily's manager, Igis Klimas, also appealed to all of the sanctioning bodies to keep the Ukrainian as the #1 contender in the lightweight division. This would allow him another chance to face the reigning champ and secure the titles for himself. Klimas also talked about their plan to bring the issue to the attention of the Nevada State Athletic Commission in the post-fight press conference. There's no word on whether they did that too, but I wouldn't blame them if they avoided the commission altogether. I mean, even Aegis knew that NSAC wouldn't exactly do anything about the decision, because they're not known for overturning rulings like that. The judging was bad. There are no other words about it. A close fight like that would have at least gone to a split decision, but that wasn't the case here. All 3 judges ruled in favor of Haney, and Dave Moretti even gave the 10th round to the Dream, which was a complete shock to the boxing community. That round was one of the most one-sided ones of the fight. Devin could do nothing about Loma's pace and work rate, and was only able to clinch up to avoid taking any lethal damage. Klimas revealed that they had actually protested the inclusion of Moretti to the commission, but their appeals fell on deaf ears, and the NSAC told them that Moretti was one of the best judges in the business. Even Aram spoke out on this issue, saying that 3 American judges were allowed to sit in a fight between a US native and a Ukrainian. You don't ever see that happening. Either it's balanced in the favor of both the fighters, or the judges are kept neutral to avoid any issues like these. Nothing's really gonna come out of all this. Haney called Loma the toughest fight of his career, but he never wants to see him in the ring again. And all these appeals and accusations have only made the champ salty. Right after Loma's team announced that they approached the sanctioning bodies, Devin took to Twitter and declared that the Matrix is a f***ing sore loser. According to the Dream, all Vasiliy can do is make excuses for his losses. He also told the Ukrainian to take it like a man and stop crying over the results. Haney reminded Loma that it was the 3rd time in his career that he was set up to win, and he still failed. I have no idea what he's referring to. Anyway, Devin also told Vasiliy to get the commission to give him back his $400,000. This was actually in reference to the amount of money he was fined by the NSAC for his pre-fight shove against Loma. That may sound like a lot, but that was probably just 10% of his entire purse, according to Eddie Hearn. The move was reckless, and the punishment could have been a lot worse for Haney. It might even have wrecked his entire career along with his bank account, because the incident resulted in a second medical checkup for Loma. The loss took a toll on the Ukrainian, and he was caught on camera crying backstage after the fight. When he was asked about it, Loma recounted how his son kept calling him before the match. So when Vasiliy was sitting in the locker room alone, he remembered how he failed to come good on the promise.
Was proven inside that ring because he could have taken a cheap shot at Devin and at the commission and whatever he wanted to, and he chose to take the high road. And that just goes to show who Vasiliy Lomachenko is.
And that brought up a lot of emotions for him. Loma also spoke about how much control he had in the ring. In his mind, it was clear that he won 8 rounds out of 12, but accounting for everything, he was willing to bring it down to at least 7 rounds for himself. This was one of the most brutal robberies in the recent history of the sport, and fans can only wait and see where it goes from here. So, from the Matrix breaking down in tears after his loss, to an airport worker telling him that he won. This was how Vasiliy Lomachenko opened up after losing to Devin Haney.